Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're building an absolutely essential project for any aspiring developer or engineer. Your very own modern web portfolio. This isn't just about showcasing your fantastic projects. It's a deep dive into mastering the core technologies that power every website you visit. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Get ready to understand and build. A professional portfolio is your digital handshake with the world. It's how you present your skills and projects. This portfolio is designed to be clean and modern, visually appealing with a consistent aesthetic, responsive, looks great on desktops, tablets, and mobile phones, interactive, features subtle animations and transitions to grab attention. We'll build it from scratch so you understand every piece of the puzzle. Before we write a single line, let's establish the roles of our three main characters. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. This is the skeleton of our website. It defines the content and structure, all the headings, paragraphs, images, lists, and links. Without HTML, there's nothing to see. CSS, Cascading Style Sheets. This is the skin, clothing, and makeup. CSS dictates how everything looks, the colors, fonts, spacing, rounded corners, shadows, and the overall visual arrangement. It transforms plain HTML into an attractive design. JavaScript, JS. This is the brain and muscles. JavaScript adds interactivity, dynamic behavior, and logic. It makes things happen on the page, like animations, updating content, or handling user clicks. Let's start by looking at our index. HTML file. This is the blueprint. Boilerplate. DOC2IP HTML. HTML, head, body. These are standard for every HTML5 document. The head holds crucial meta information about the page, like its title in the browser tab, and links to our CSS and JavaScript files. Notice the meta name equals viewport. Tag. This is essential for responsive design, telling the browser how to scale your page on different devices. We also link to the Tailwind CSS CDN here. Tailwind is a utility-first framework that gives us ready-made CSS classes for almost anything, making styling super fast. And importantly, link rel equals stylisheet, href equals style. CSS, links are custom CSS, and script src equals script. JS/script links are JavaScript. The body, our content container, div ID equals portfolio container. Everything you see on the website goes inside this body tag. Our main div with ID equals portfolio container wraps all the content. Notice the opacity 0 class. This initially makes the entire container invisible. We'll see why in JavaScript. Semantic sections, header section, footer. We use these tags to logically divide our content. The header at the top for your name and main introduction. Multiple section, tags for about me, skills, projects, and contact. This improves accessibility and search engine optimization. A footer at the bottom for copyright information. Key content elements, headings, H1, H2, H3. We use these for titles and subtitles. For example, your name Parvasi M is an H1 because it's the main heading of the page. Paragraphs P for descriptive text. Images, img. Your profile picture is an img tag. Notice the owner or attribute. This is a robust way to handle broken image links, ensuring a placeholder loads if the original fails. Lists, ul-li, for organized information like your skills. Links, for your social media profiles and project links. SVG icons. Within the tags, you'll see raw SVG code. These are scalable vector graphics. They're lightweight, look perfect at any size, and don't require external icon fonts, giving us crisp icons like the email or GitHub symbols. Now let's switch to style, CSS. This is where we control the look and feel. Remember, we're largely using Tailwind classes in the HTML, but this file adds our custom flair, especially for animations. Body font family. Inter sans serif. This sets our chosen Inter font, imported from Google Fonts, across the entire page for a consistent, modern typeface. At keyframes fade in up. This is a custom CSS animation rule. It defines how an element will fade in and move up from an initial state, opacity 0. Transform, translate Y20px to its final visible state, opacity 1. Transform, translate Y0. We control the smoothness with ease out. Animate fade in up, opacity 0. This class is initially applied to elements we want to animate. It simply makes them invisible. Delay 100, delay 200, etc. These are custom utility classes. They add a specific animation delay to our elements. This is key to making sections appear one after another, creating that polished, staggered entrance effect. Animate active animation. Fade in up 0.8 s ease out forwards. This is the magic class. When JavaScript adds this class to an element, it triggers our fade in up animation. The forwards property is important. It tells the browser to keep the element in its final animated state, fully visible and in place, after the animation finishes. Loose side icon. We've set a fixed width and height here for our inline SVGs, ensuring they are consistently sized, like Tailwind's W5, H5 utility classes. You'll notice no colors or padding defined here directly. That's because those are handled by the Tailwind CSS classes, applied directly in the HTML. Like BG gradient to BR, from indigo 200 to purple 200 for section backgrounds, or Py3 PX6 rounded full for button styling. Finally, let's look at our script, JS file. This JavaScript code adds the dynamic behavior and interactivity to our static HTML and CSS. Document, add event listener, DOM content loaded, =. This is crucial. JavaScript waits for the entire HTML document to be fully loaded and parsed by the browser before it tries to run any of our code. This prevents errors, where JavaScript might try to manipulate an element that doesn't exist yet. Const portfolio container =. Document. Get element by ID, portfolio container. We get a reference to our main portfolio wrapper using its unique ID =. Portfolio container. Portfolio container style opacity =. 1. This is our first visual JavaScript action, since the container was initially opacity 0 in HTML CSS. This line immediately sets its opacity to 1, making the entire page fade in. Const animated elements =. Document. Query selector all. Animate fade in up. We select all the elements that have our animate fade in up class. These are the elements we want to animate with a delay. Animated elements. For each element =. We loop through each of these selected elements. Const delay class =. Array. From element. Class list. Find CLS =. CLS. Starts with delay. This line cleverly finds which delay XXX class. For example, delay 100, delay 200 is applied to the current element. Set timeout =. Element class list. Add animate active, delay MS. This is the core of our staggered animation. Set timeout schedules a function to run after a specific delay. Delay MS. The function simply adds the animate active class to the element, which, as we saw in CSS, triggers the fade in up animation. This creates that beautiful, sequential appearance of sections. Document, get element by ID current year. Text content =. New date, get full year. A small but useful touch. This JavaScript line gets the current year from your computer's date and inserts it into the span element with ID = current year in your footer. This means your copyright year is always up to date automatically. All right, we've walked through the HTML structure, the CSS styling, and the JavaScript interactivity. Now, let's see how it all beautifully comes together in the live browser preview. And I'll point out exactly where we applied these concepts. First, that graceful fade-in of the whole page. That's our script. JS setting the initial opacity to 1 after DOM content loaded, making it smoothly appear. Here in the header section, your name, Parvathy M. Our H1 from HTML stands out. The vibrant font extra bold and text indigo 900 are Tailwind CSS classes, making it bold and dark indigo. The profile picture, img in HTML, is perfectly centered and rounded using Tailwind's rounded full and custom border classes. Notice the subtle animation as the text slides up. That's our CSS at keyframes fade in up being triggered by JavaScript with a delay 100, delay 200. Moving to the About Me section. This entire block is an HTML section, tag. Its background is a BG gradient to BR from indigo 200 to purple 200 gradient from Tailwind, giving it that medium-toned look. The text LG and leading relaxed classes from Tailwind make the paragraphs. P tags in HTML, easy to read. The graduation cap and briefcase icons. Those are the direct SVG code we embedded in the HTML, neatly styled by our custom Lucide icon CSS. In the skills section, we see a grid layout managed by Tailwind's grid classes. Each skill category, like programming languages, is a div in HTML. They have their own subtle BG Indigo 100 or BG Purple 100 backgrounds with rounded Excel borders. Again, all via Tailwind. The little code icon next to programming languages, another embedded SVG. Notice how each of these skill blocks appears with a slight delay as you scroll. That's our JavaScript adding the animatactive class after a set timeout based on our delay XXX CSS classes. The projects section showcases your work. Each project is a distinct div element in our HTML. We've given them beautiful BG gradient to BR from Purple 100 to Indigo 100 backgrounds. And the hover, Shadow XL and Transition Shadow Tailwind classes create that nice elevation effect when your mouse goes over them. The technology tags like Python or TensorFlow are simply span tags in HTML, styled with Tailwind's BG Purple 200 Text Purple 800 classes to give them those distinct rounded, colored badges. The View project link uses an inline SVG arrow icon that slides slightly on hover, another neat CSS transition. Specifically, for the fee inquiry system, you can see the tags clearly showing Python, Flask for the backend, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript for the frontend, with SQLite as the database. This visually communicates your full stack capability for this project. Finally, the contact section. Again, a structured section in HTML. Your email, GitHub, and LinkedIn links are tags. We styled these buttons with Tailwind's BG Indigo 700 and Shadow LG, and added hover, scale, 105 for that subtle zoom effect when you interact with them. The mail, GitHub, and LinkedIn icons are also directly embedded SVGs. And at the very bottom, our footer, the copyright year, see that 2025, our JavaScript function document, get element by ID current year, text content equals sign new date, get full year, automatically inserts the correct current year here, saving you from manual updates. So, there you have it. A complete breakdown of how to build a modern portfolio using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We've seen how HTML provides the content structure, CSS handles all the styling and makes it look visually appealing. JavaScript adds the interactivity and those smooth animations. Mastering these three technologies is fundamental for any B.Tech student aiming for a career in tech. This portfolio project is an excellent foundation for your own web development journey. If you want to get your hands on the full code for this project, including all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files, and dive into a more detailed, line-by-line explanation, check out the link in the channel description. Got a brilliant B.Tech project idea you'd love us to break down or build? Or maybe you need help getting started with this portfolio project? DM us on Project Solutions Hub at Outlook.com or simply fill out the form linked in the description. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your classmates, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting project breakdowns and valuable tutorials.
Please do like, share, and subscribe, and DM me if you need any help with your projects.